It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we're going to beer from Stewart Brewing Company, and it's a can of their Gooseberry Gose, coming in at 4.7% ABV, brewed with Nelson Sauvin hop, and Nelson Sauvin sour they've described it. It's in a 440 milliliter can, and I think I've just mentioned that it's coming in at 4.7% ABV. Without further ado, let's get this beer out. Ooh, into a glass, see what we get. I like Stewart Brewing Company, a very reliable, very solid Scottish craft brewery. I forget exactly where they're based in Scotland, but we'll have a little look at the side of the can in a moment, work out where they're from. Look at the sediment, my goodness me. Gooseberry Gose. So I'm imagining a lot of that sediment might be some of the fruit. So we're going to pour it all in. We're going to get it in. There's a little bit of a cloud, look. Look at the top of the glass there. A little bit of a cloud going on. Slightly hazy, amber coloured beer, one finger whitehead. Look at that sediment down below. Look at that. Wow. Right, slow moving carbonation. Let's get the aroma on this hazy amber coloured beer. Smells okay. You definitely get the Nelson Sauvin, you definitely get a little bit of gooseberry. And you definitely get a little bit of that, I call it a menacing kind of sour aroma. It just catches the back of your nostrils a little bit. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Blimey, stone the crows, that is sour, that is really, really sour. Mouth puckeringly sour. Whoa! Wow. Oof. Full on. Loads of gooseberry, loads of sourness, and what I love about this style of beer is when the sourness dissipates, it hits you fast in the face, the sourness. It's a very fun drink to review, a sour beer, because it's like grabbing a pack of those sour sweets when you were a kid and chucking them in your mouth, and you're like, oh, blimey, that's sour, and you're kind of holding it there, praying for the sourness to go away, so you can leave it in your mouth the longest, type of thing. Very similar thing here, but the sourness hits you full on in the face, and then it dissipates very quickly. It's gone. The sourness is gone, but you're left with this nice kind of light, slightly bready, slightly biscuity, slightly wafer-like flavours coming through on the beer. Very nice beer. Oh, and very refreshing. Really, really, really refreshing, drinkable beer. And another good thing about a sour beer is that you can chill it down as much as you like, really, because a lot of that flavour is coming from the gooseberry, and a lot of that flavour is coming from the sourness. You might struggle a little bit if you cool it too much to pick up the full extent of the Nelson Sauvin, but I always feel like a sour beer is just one of the most kind of amazing, refreshing brews out there, because that very fact you can chill it right down. And I've always liked gooseberries. I remember when my grandfather was alive, he lived in a little council house, just a 600, 700 feet away from here. I think that might be yards, or maybe half a mile away, maybe half a mile. But he had this council house, and when he moved in, there was this spiky bush, and it had flowers on it in the spring. And then by the summer, end of summer, I had a look at that same bush, and it had, to my surprise, it had these great big gooseberries on it. And they were like, if you've ever seen a gooseberry, they're like veiny, kind of funny looking fruits. But I thought, wow, look at this. Look at this, I want a gooseberry bush. But there's a lot of kind of like big spiky needles on it. You've got to be careful. But I remember really enjoying that kind of, that mouth puckering kind of sourness from the gooseberry. That's very much made its way into this beer. Very nice. In terms of balance, it's very hard to determine the balance of a sour beer. Yes, you get a little bit of sweet kind of biscuity breadiness from the malt, and then you get a little bit of that kind of bitterness from the hops on the back end, but it's all very minimal. It's not like you would want to talk about the balance of this beer too much, because it's minimal. This beer is all about that sourness, but after 2 or 3 tastes of the beer, the sourness kind of dips, it comes down a little bit. And for people who don't really like a sour beer too much, my challenge to you would be to drink past the sourness. Once you've drank past the sourness, it becomes a very, 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 very enjoyable drink. I love the sourness. I love that kind of, whoa, blimey, wow, look at this. I love that sour aspect of the beer. And it's got a little bit of salt in it too. You get a little bit of that saltiness. But being a Gose, German style beer, the Gose style was the Gose Brewery, which invented the Gose style. They had a salty kind of, a little bit of a salty kind of river, which they got a natural stream that had a little bit of kind of salt in it. Made the beers a little bit salty, but very interesting. But they've been going for hundreds of years. So craft beer, Edinburgh, Scotland, Gooseberry Gose, 4.7, Nelson Sauvin, tart, zesty, sour, salty. Gooseberry Gose is a tart, sour beer with added gooseberries, Nelson Sauvin hops and a salt. And salt even. A light malt base which is soured with Lactobacillus plantarum, allows the distinctive gooseberry and fresh grape character of the Nelson Sauvin hops to shine through. Pink Himalayan salt and gooseberry juice give a super refreshing character to the beer. So Lactobacillus, that's the ingredient used. It's part of, it's not completely milk, but it's part of a milk product. They instead of getting loads of sweetness from the malt, they add this lactobacillus, and it turns it from being like going down that path where it wants to be sweet. It turns it into a different direction, like it's running into a brick wall, and it has to go in a different direction. It becomes a sour beer. Very, very interesting stuff. Way above my kind of, I mean, the technical stuff of that, I can give you a basic idea of it, but it's way above my understanding to get into depth with this lactobacillus. Maybe if you're interested more than that, Google it. But I'm going to rate it. Stewart Brewing Company's Gooseberry Gose, 4.7% ABV. I like it. Looks good. Smells good. Tastes good. I like that enough to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I promised to tell you where they were from. Let's have a quick look. Lonehead. EH. So that's got to be, EH is Edinburgh, maybe. Maybe. Or Lonehead. Have a look where Lonehead is. Or just put Stewart Brewing Company into Google Maps. You'll find them. 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.